This morning in our Work in Connecticut segment, we are looking ahead to warmer weather days. Yes. Many brides-to-be and maybe even some grooms too are thinking about their wedding day. And it looks like now is the time to look ahead to think about flowers. So here with some advice, wedding planner and CEO of One Fine Day, Sarah Parlos joins me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Your business is in Bloomfield,
yes,
and it seems like you have a wide variety of different things that we're going to cover.
Very much so. So I'd love to jump into anything you want to talk about, weddings or flowers.
Perfect. Let's start out with how far in advance should you say that brides should be looking at their flowers, planning their flowers, maybe going over exactly what they want in the bouquets and the centerpieces?
Yeah, definitely 6 to 9 months. So if you're getting married in like prime wedding season, I would say anything from May till end of October, you definitely want to stick with the 9 month. That's the safe zone where your vendor, your favorite vendor, won't be booked. If you're getting married off season, let's say November, December, January, February, you can definitely lean more towards the 6 month mark.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when you say go to your favorite vendor, obviously vendors have different contracts. It doesn't mean that 9 months out you need to know exactly what flowers you're picking.
Definitely not. Most florists are going to work with you. They might put you under contract to lock in the date and save it, but they're going to allow you to make changes maybe about a month or so up until that month mark before your wedding. So you can tweak your designs, even change your color palette. Really, most florists will allow you to change your whole order if necessary until about the month mark.
Okay. Yeah. Can you take me through some of these arrangements here so we can talk about some of the latest trends?
Yeah. Some of the latest trends I would say even this year is definitely fresh greenery. So many of my brides are on a really, really crazy budget. I believe this is $50. So imagine most wedding planners and florists are going to price out bridal bouquets between $150 and $200. That's in Connecticut, Boston, and New York, totally different. Right. But this is a $50 arrangement. Now, this is an arrangement that is $55. This is Alstroemeria. You see this in grocery stores. Most brides are like, I want nothing to do with grocery store flowers. This actually looks phenomenal in a single color palette. $55. Another thing that's kind of surprising, but for our modern chic New York gal, I would say, is tulips. And I believe that this is marked, I have to look here, at $115. Huge price difference for a bridal bouquet. This is the main trend for this year, which is this textural, deconstructed, bohemian type of dimensional bouquet. And even when we hold it out, I'm going to do this, you can see how that looks like that. And this is what so many of my brides are bringing their Pinterest photos to us and saying, I want this. This is a little bit more expensive. This is $150, but the reason it's not $200 is because we're using lots of greens with just 3 flowers, really. A spray rose, lisianthus, and what we call a snowberry, which I would say is a secondary flower. But lots of greens really bring down your price. And something maybe a little different is this is all stock, which you typically don't see at all. But using this one flower with no greens, no roses, no peonies, no orchids, this is going to keep your price really cheap, and I'm peaking again, $125. So this is a very affordable options up here, especially these 4 arrangements that you can do for your wedding that are going to keep you on target.
One thing that I noticed going through the whole wedding planning process was, you know, I went with a picture and I was like, oh, I want this. And, and it was a bouquet that had a lot of texture. But the florist worked with me a little bit and said, hey, you know, you really like this, which is a garden rose, but how much do you like this standard rose? Because the price difference is substantial.
Absolutely.
How can brides work with their florist to say, hey, this is the overall look I want, but I don't really have the budget for it?
Exactly what you said. The helpful tip is to bring in either an inspiration photo, even send your Pinterest account to them. So many of my brides as a wedding planner are sending me their entire Pinterest account. I'm following it through their whole wedding process. So as they evolve into new ideas or designs, I'm able to pick up on those things. So a florist, you bring your photos in and you say, this is what I like, and I can only spend $150 on a bridal bouquet. I only have enough money for $65 for bridesmaids bouquets. I can't really afford, you know, $100 centerpieces. What can you do in this color palette and with this type of design to really work within my budget? They will do it.
And the other thing too, when you talk about centerpieces, is that there are so many different ways that you can do them, and they can look so elegant, but not necessarily cost an arm and a leg.
Yes. Some of the key things I would say to stay away from the expensive centerpieces, number one, don't go tall. So once you hit the 22, 24 inch mark off the table, you're going to be up between 175 plus. Some arrangements I've seen as high as $500 towards the New York border. Extremely expensive. You want to go low and lush, or if your heart is really set on something that's expensive and tall, maybe do 75% low and lush designs, and then maybe just 25% on the key tables. Maybe your family table, your bridal party table. Also, you can repurpose these as centerpieces. So once your girls have walked down the aisle with them, they've done their photos, repurpose these just in these clear cylinder vases as centerpieces. They're gorgeous. That will save you money. You'll still be able to maybe leave room for the tall and elegant arrangements that you really want while repurposing some flowers from the ceremony.
Right. I did that myself. We had
smart.
this, the bridal bouquet and the two bridesmaids bouquets on the sweetheart table. Because
so good.
Who needs to add another centerpiece when you have so much going on?
And they're so beautiful. It's definitely smart to reuse them.
Any last tips from you with the whole wedding planning process? Because I do know that budget is just such a big thing for brides.
Yeah, you know, I would say if you have it in your budget to at least talk to a wedding planner, even just for an hour or two consultant. So some of my brides really can't afford, or some clients have come to me and they said, you know, I just can't afford wedding planner in general. Maybe just do an hour or two of consultation with them where they're going to give you their list of vendor recommendations. They're going to offer you budget saving tips. And that way, okay, maybe they're going to charge $100 or $150 an hour, but for that a little amount of money, you're going to get a lot of information that's really going to be valuable in your planning process. So if you can't afford a whole planner, maybe just do a sit-down consultation with them and say, here's my vision, give me all the tips you have in this one meeting. That will really help you along the way.
Because it can really get to be a little bit overwhelming.
Very much so.
I hate to call out Pinterest, but especially when you see things on Pinterest.
Yes.
But it does, it gets overwhelming because you want to create that. And if you're anything like me, I'm not a do-it-yourself gal.
Yeah.
It kind of narrows it down and helps you focus.
Very, very much. So one thing I'll say about Pinterest is so many brides come to us with these elaborate Pinterest boards they've been pinning for years and creating these visions, and then they say, I have a $30,000 budget. I'm like, okay, this right here is $100,000. We have to scale it back.
Right.
So as a professional, if you're working with a professional florist, a professional wedding planner, whoever you're working with, maybe a designer for your day, they're really going to help you focus in on the important aspects that are actually going to enhance your design while telling you, you know what, you don't need this to complete your vision. And so that's where their words of wisdom are really going to help, you know, things come together smoothly.
All right. Thank you so much for all of those tips and these beautiful flowers.